Hi, Janelle here with Sheep Hill Herbs. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. I am outside in the heart of nature, as Ralph Smart says, enjoying the day. I just love and live for the weather post-winter, don't you? Before we get started, please like, subscribe, hit the bell button, comment, let me know how you're doing, where you're from, and check out my description down below. Links to my link tree, which is everything that is me, and that includes my Etsy shop, where I have on sale right now my Advanced Home Herbalist course for $147. It is 10 months of lessons, and you also get access to my private Facebook group. All right, let's get started. I want to talk about something that is near and dear to me, something I haven't wanted to share. I try to just put videos here that don't feel very controversial. I don't like to ruffle feathers, but there are things happening in the world that just feel so prominent that I want to share on them. And I don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to all of the political schemes going on, but one thing that I do have experience and knowledge and depth in is natural healing, and I would say that covers like natural beauty and what you're putting on your skin, and understanding what God created for us for healing, which is the plants, the herbs, and making biblical references to what the Bible refers to as pharmakeia. And when you look at the word, there is witchcraft attached to it. And for a long time, herbs have been labeled as witchcraft. And perhaps, and I would say definitely, there are people who maybe do spells and, do not worship God, the one and only, and do things that are of that nature. But that does not mean everyone who works with plants, because what we're really looking at is a time period when everyone had plant medicines. I mean, there wasn't an alternative. It was plant medicines. Natural medicine was the only medicine. So the witchcraft could be referred to people using plants in an evil way, or casting spells or calling on entities that are dark and evil. And what I look at right now, that carried prejudice or association is not the same. There are many God-fearing people who love plants and who are turning back to natural ways, and they are God's ways. And the pharmakeia that I see is all of the pharmaceutical drugs, but some, of course, are used for life-saving purposes. Hospitals, surgeons, doctors, nurses, they have definite time and place and need in our culture. What I believe is that the pharmakeia, the sorcery that has proliferated around the world, maybe beginning in celebrity cultures, and especially here in the US, and then trickling down, is this attempt to erase the natural order of things, natural aging, and replacing it with surgeries and all kinds of bizarre treatments. Now, maybe you're like me. When Botox and implants and fillers and all of these cosmetic procedures first came out, they seemed so shocking. And you could see right away, or tell right away, when a person had something like that done to them. I hate that right now it is so common that I feel some desensitization to it. And I resisted, but never spoke out about it. years ago when it was becoming mainstream, and then, you know, regular people were doing these things, because I could see the end result. And lots of maybe people who feel like they're Christian or maybe well-meaning, they're getting a spiritual attack. They have an opening, a doorway that makes them feel that they need to, you know, significantly alter their appearance with what I feel is like a pharmakeia, a sorcery, a witchcraft. It's not natural. God gave us all of the plants we need, animal products, tallow from animals, from beef tallow is like so moisturizing, so amazing for the skin. He gave us everything we need. Food, healthy food, water, exercise. He didn't, you know, there's a couple reasons why I am opposed to it. One, and I would say the biggest reason, is the lie. The lie to the self and the lie to others. Each person who takes or makes that decision to basically live in a mask, and I couldn't even imagine wanting to live with a mask, where I have created I mean, just like you're creating a mask that you wear constantly. I couldn't even imagine wanting to do that. The need to feel like you have to hide your true self, who God made you to be, so much that you have to have a mask. And maybe you can relate to makeup, because that would be like a slight mask. But the thing about makeup, of course, everything can be used for good or evil intent. Makeup is washed off, and I don't feel like makeup in the general sense is bad. I'm not going into makeup. What I'm talking about is a permanent mask that changes your personality and your identity. And the lie that you have to tell yourself and others to uphold it. And the basic lie is, you know, pretending that it's natural, pretending that you haven't had anything done. The fact that your face no longer has movement. It no longer shows your emotions. You know, people for thousands of years like learned skills of reading eyes, mouth movements. You know, animals even do that. They're reading our language in our face, and just the fact that you're hiding it, to me, is like a red flag. So, you know, why am I so against this? Because I see where it's going, and maybe you do too. And that is like this definite merge of AI with human, the robotic, the soulless, the stealing of the soul. Like, if you're a Christian, maybe you'll understand, like, you can lose your soul in that. I do not doubt it at all, because it's playing on pride and it's playing on vanity. And once you get stuck there, it's really hard to come out of it. So this is my my spiel, my emphasis. What am I trying to say? I am saying, for the love of God, there are plants, there are natural remedies, and in the next video I'm going to show you what I use, what I have. And there are so many things that we can do to live authentically. Like, really, like, who wouldn't want to just be their true authentic self that God created them to be? Live in authentic relationship with one another. Be willing to be vulnerable. That is like deep meaning in life. It's so deep and so profound. We cannot replicate it with computers. We cannot replicate it with AI. I guess many people don't want that kind of, you know, authenticity or depth, but I'm asking those who do, you know, for the love of God, hold true to that. Hold true to yourself. It's scary because there's people I know who are definitely have gone to the other side, and, you know, you pray for them to come back, and maybe they won't, and we pray for the children, our children and our children's children, the generations to come after us. Like, it's so irresponsible, in my opinion, as you know, an elder getting into the elder years, to demonstrate to a child that you are not lovable, and I guess lovable might be the word. You are not worthy unless you alter what you have, your creation. God created us. We are perfect in His image. He is the potter. We are the clay. And to tell a child, maybe not with words, but through our actions, like, you are not good enough unless you change what God has created. I do not want that for my children at all. And parents that are doing that, and I say doing that, like physically altering their appearance because they're afraid to age or whatever fears they have, they don't want to be seen, they want to appear a certain way. You are showing your children that being your true vulnerable self before God, like naked in the sight of God, is wrong and something to be afraid of. And that, to me, is a shame. So all of you out there living your authentic self, rock on. Spread that authenticity, that realness throughout the world. Bye.